Diary, hello. It is the beginning of August. I'm in the study unboxing the GameMax RGB power supply unit, 850 watts. Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, in terms of likely to buy a gaming PC or gaming, I'm about -1. So what on earth am I doing with a GameMax RGB850 modular 80 plus gold power supply? The reason is, oh, by the way, I'm looking at I'm looking at the order, which says 550 watts, and the unit says 850 watts. But the main reason I've ordered this is because it's a modular power supply, and I'm diddling about with old PCs, and I need to test things, and I need power, and I would like to test out the things like hard drives outside of the PC. This is the unboxing of this. I'm just trying to justify why I have bought this GameMax. I don't even like to say the words GameMax. I'm that so not a gaming person just to be associated with the word GameMax. Now this appears to be a power supply where I can. Again, I'm laughing because the whole idea to me is just preposterous. I believe I can change there's a light inside the power supply, and I believe in some way I can change the colour that's emitting from the power supply. I mean, who needs that? Now here we are, there's a box as usual. I'm the world's slowest unboxer. The reason I am the purchaser of said power supply is money. This was the cheapest modular power supply, and that's really the point of the unboxing video. So here we are. It's quite nice packaging, I have to say. The size of a shoebox, and I'll be able to use this box for sales and so forth. Right, so there's the box gone. We have got a piece of paper saying RGB power supply unit. Oh, it says between. Oh yeah, so there's different power ratings. The one I ordered was 550. The one that I seem to have received is 850. It says 850 on the label. I believe that's true. And really, there's only one thing to notice, and that's the fact. As you can see, this power supply does not have any leads coming out of it. Now, in the world of power supplies, you've got non-modular, which is where all the wires are permanently attached to the power supply. You've got semi-modular, which is where the main motherboard lead is permanently attached to the power supply. And you've got fully modular, whereby all of the leads are detachable. Here is some wire tags and some screws. Here is a modular cable. Okay, so as you can see, we've got a whole set of cables. Now, I've absolutely no idea how one would change the colour. So I think there's an LED ring here. There must be some way of changing the colour. Ah yes, there's a button here. So if nothing else, I guess you're pressing this button to change the colour that's output. Yep. So that's it. It's a £54 power supply from Amazon, and I wanted a modular power supply. This was the absolute cheapest power supply I could find. And so when we're using this on a test bench, I'll only need to have connected the minimum number of wires sticking out of this thing. That's it. This is the GameMax RGB modular 80 plus gold power supply with 14 centimeters RGB fan. An absolute bargain from Amazon for £54, especially since this is an 850 watt version. That is, what value, what value. Thanks for watching, Darry. Okay, in part two, I thought I would also mention in part two, I thought I would also show you how to actually convert this into effectively a bench power supply. So we've got the unit here, and the issue is that if we plug it in to the mains, Mr. Mains lead, plug that in and switch it on, a big fat nothing. And why is that? That's because on this interface here that goes to the PC, there's a line called PS on. And unless that's grounded, the PSU will not operate. And where is that line? Now, if you look on the YouTubes, they'll say to follow this green wire and it's next to a black wire. But with this PSU, either for reasons of annoyance or for gamingness, the wires are not coloured. So it looks kind of cool, but the tradition was to colour these wires. So when you follow your YouTube, it says, next to the green wire, the black wire, which wire is it? So let's go back to the power supply. It's actually the fourth wire along, counting from the top here. So what we actually need to do, you need to ground. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's the key. Goes the fourth wire, and to either side of it is ground. So from 4 to 5 or 3 to 4, if that could be grounded, then this should start. So the traditional way to do this is to have this wire installed and use a paper clip between these 2 points here. But that's just going to be messy. And the whole point of buying this modular power supply, instead of with a semi-modular power supply, you would have no choice because this wire is embedded into the power supply. But this is a fully modular power supply, and the last thing I want is a flipping wire dangling around when I don't need it. And you can't use a paper clip and just plug it into there because it's the gauge of the wire is too thin. So I had a genius idea, and the genius idea was, are any of these connectors going to be compatible with this socket? Now you'll see there are square connectors and kind of round-edged connectors, and by a process of trial and error, I found out that the PCIe connector, although it's not perfect, the plan is it goes on from the top. Looking at this, can you see that? It goes square, I'm going to say square, round, 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 round. And believe it or not, it's a square, round, round on the top there. So using this PCI connector, if I can modify this PCI connector, because I'm never going to use this connector. This is to drive a graphics card. Okay, so the plan is to use this as the connector, which is going to short the mainboard. I'm going to plug this in here. I'm going to just chop these wires off and just connect these 2 wires together. So I should be going away to do that, and I should be coming back. Okay, Dari, so I have completed the plug making. Here's the finished plug. Remember, I took a PCIe plug. I've chopped off the wires and I've joined the top 2 wires together, and I've sealed that in a Sugru, which is a moldable glue. You can just buy that on the interweb. So I've soldered 2 wires together, topped all the other wires off, and I've covered it all in this Sugru moldable glue. See that? So now, the last thing I need to do is to plug it in. So remember, it's the 4th and 5th wires I've got to connect together. And so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's here. That's from the 4th wire on. So I'm going to press that in there. That should just, so you can see that socket is in. And we just need to find a mains lead. So continue to the mains lead, and we're going to power it on. Yes. Now the only thing I will say is that I've got these flashing nonsense colours. Where's the button? Actually, it's the power switch. Okay, so here we go. Let's just press these buttons and see what happens. Do I like that? No, 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 no. So this goes on for a while. I have pressed the button and found out it goes through a very long series of different coloured patterns. But I believe if I hold the button on for 3 seconds, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, yes, the light goes out. So the light is optional. I can switch the damn thing off. So now we have a power supply, which I can use on my desk. Here are the cables. I can use this in a standard way, and typically I'm going to be using this to power discs and things like that need 5 and 4 volts. Okay, diary. So this is the GameMax 850 watt power supply. It costs me about under £60 from Amazon. Well worth it. Thanks for watching.